So the topic for tonight, people, is why some blacks ignore American black history to wanna be African, right? Why do they want to do that? We have some answers for you as we move forward. It has to do with not actually knowing history, but let's get into it because we got 41 more minutes in the show and we got a lot of information to get through. Wait a minute, we've got a phone call. We've got a phone call from 864.
It is very important for us to look at the various places that our ancestors went to, even here in America.
Okay. Let's extrapolate out. Okay, I got it. How many American blacks have their lineage come from Egypt?
Well, this is a reality, right? A lot of people, being that we don't know what went into making Kemet, or as you call it, Egypt, but the majority of our black people come from Kemet. Why? Because when you look at D.C., what D.C. is to America, and this is me as being a student, when we look at what D.C. is to America, how that's basically America's pie, a lot of people from many different states are in D.C. because D.C. or Washington is the centralized power of America. It was the same way in Kemet. You understand? Or what you call Egypt. Egypt was basically the zenith of all things in the world.
Okay. Good. No.
Listen. At the home, you asked me a question. So it took 42 nations. To come together and build what you know as Egypt. So it's not like the Egyptians just came. No, this was a collective of black folk. The Dogon, or the several different traditions and several different cultures, claim or know that they are from the Nile Valley. It's not just all in Egypt, it's the full Nile Valley culture. You understand? So the majority of our people come from what we call as Kemet or Egypt. As
Okay. I had a historian, I'm going to say American black historian who studies Africa, tell me that that it was zero. I had another one explain to me that wait a minute, finish. As Egypt was being conquered, and as a lot of them went to the Sudan, some did travel down, and you will see the cowrie shells in West African and Central African art because some came in and they intermingled with the people and joined in that particular civilization. But that is not a direct link to Egypt. That's one. So studying Egypt is good because that's where, this is what the historian told me. This is catch, analyze, and shoot. He said it's good because they were the ones who came up, who you could see that built civilization. You could see that they had mathematics, they had science, they had medical, they had all this. So to study them is to study the best that Africa had. But what we're dealing with here is, this is after Egypt has been conquered, right? And they have migrated down. They mostly went to the Sudan. You want to see Egyptians from what used to be in Kemet, you look at Sudan. But they also ventured down into other parts and lower parts of Central and West Africa, and then they intermingle in with the people. So you see some influences, but that is not a direct link to Egypt. So that's why I asked you the question, how many American blacks actually have lineage from Egypt? And that would be directly zero. Now, indirectly, through them intermingling and marrying in, like how Europeans married in with the Indians, with the oil wells in America, and then they married the Indian women, and then they killed them off, and then their offspring basically were white, and they took it. It's basically the same thing, except for it was a building of culture. So my thing is this, talking about speaking of Africa. Now, so this is my premise. I said, here we are in America, right? We have so much information that we have not learned about our own foremothers right here. I hear people talk about, oh, the drum, you can hear the African rhythms in the drum, but we do the drum so much better and so much harder. Like the rhythms are good when you see the women in the colorful clothing and they're doing the Yoruba dances and whatever tribal dances doing. That's cool. That's nice. But in actuality, when you hear the boom, 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 that goes around the globe. That comes from American black people. That comes from a certain struggle. Wait a minute. Okay, wait. Actually, the hip hop drum actually came from.
Any drum.
No. Wait. Listen to what I'm saying though. But the main point is the drum that pushes globally. It comes from the American blacks here. The music that comes from here pushes the world. Hip hop pushes the world. Jazz pushes the world. R&B, soul, it pushes the world. It comes from American blacks right here. So my thing is, when we go back over to Africa, we won't be going back over talking about Kumbaya. We're going to go back over and say, look, we're going to get our chance just like the Chinese did and just like the European did before. It's going to be our time because obviously you can't get it together because you keep getting colonized over and over and over again. We listen. See, I don't listen to people who are here in America who are landlocked. I listen to people like Dr. Mumbi, who is actually in Kenya, who is actually on the ground in Africa, who reports on the 54 countries in Africa and what's going on. When I hear about Nigeria having rolling electric outages, I don't want to be in a country that has electric rolling outages. I mean, that's romanticism, thinking that something is better that's third world when we live in the first world. So this is what I'm saying. It's good to study. This is exactly what I'm saying. This is the premise, and I'm glad that you called up because we can discuss this a little bit. My thing is, we are American black people that push the world. Everything that we do, we push the world. It's good to know from whence some of our ancestors came. Right. It's good to know that. But we shouldn't be beholden or think that some place is better when we're the coldest black people on the planet. We are the coldest. We are the most advanced. American blacks are the most advanced black people on the planet, and everybody else needs to come learn from us. Matter of fact, they do come and learn, and through the Pan-African movement, they were supposed to learn, not stay and live in white neighborhoods here in the United States. They're supposed to learn, get their degree, and then head back over to Africa to make it the utopia so it can change from 54 countries to 54 states. It's supposed to be the country of Africa, not the continent of Africa. So while they're coming over here and also looking down on us, which they really can't because they're running from theirs. Matter of fact, I wonder how many, like Dr. Mumbe had reported last year, how many of the Nigerian nationals in England and America, when the Nigerian president from the Nigerian Federation called them back home, how many of them really went? They're not going back to rolling outages after living in a country where they got paved roads. They flip a switch, electric comes on, it's clean water, or you can go buy bottled water. You don't have to worry about that. So tell me why Africa is so great, my man, where the greatest blacks on the planet today would want to go back over there trying to learn something when really they're coming over here to learn from us. How come we would go over there and learn over there instead of going over there to take it because we are the greatest on the planet?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You ain't got no business, like, even with that mindset right there. in my opinion, shows that we have been taught very well by the Europeans.
No, brother. No, brother.
Listen,
No, brother.
Understand me, bro. Listen. Let me, if I could get this out, and then I'm gonna let you have it, okay?
Okay.
Well, basically, what you just said is that even when we're looking at George Floyd, the whole freaking world had to come to the aid of black folk in America. Why? Because we were the ones that were getting hung in trees 40, 50, 60 years ago. Guess what? We are the only humankind that are being found hung from trees as we were years ago. So we may feel like you have a Jay-Z, or just because you have a Rick Ross, or people that are, and even when you're talking about the hip-hop or the African drum that is now placed inside hip-hop, one thing about the African drum that we need to know is that it was made to convey very useful words, right? It was made to convey lessons, right? But right now, our children are learning bull crap. That's the reality. So if you're able to look deeply into the reality, you have people that are dancing now, doing more buffoonery than ever. I'm not proud. It doesn't make you great because you're a good bootlicking slave. No, you don't have. Out of all of the black NFL team, out of all the black men that play on NFL teams, how many black owners do we have? Right? That doesn't show me that you have gotten out of the slave master's house. That shows me now that you're dancing more than ever.
So when you leave,
I'm not any more proud of what's going on here than I am. Of course, we still got colonization going on in Africa.
Okay, wait a minute. So listen to what you said.
Listen, I'm not trying to separate.
Listen to what you said.
Separate my issues. I'm not trying to separate my issues and feel like, hey, I'm just because you are here under the European that you are special. No. If that was the case, why did George Floyd get killed? Why are we having a protest for Breonna Taylor? You understand? Although we know that there are way far more whites here in America, why is the prison overflowing with black folks?
Because of the 13th Amendment, my man. The 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment. Listen, you just said that over in Africa,
I'm not proud to be here. We're not running shit. We ain't running stuff. And America is looking at us like, damn, y'all been through all this stuff and y'all are still going through it. That's why we can't even discuss reparations.
Okay, wait a minute.
Under Obama in 2016, they received their reparations. We have gone through this torture and still seeing the torture, and you ain't even talking about no reparations.
Listen,
Well,
Obama was actually Kenyan, and he wasn't from the lineage of 1619. So what I'm saying is, you're saying that they're colonized over there. They're going through the same thing over there. So my question is, wait a minute. So then it's no different, and their own people are allowing other people to come in and take all the raw minerals, letting the Chinese come over and beat them, kick them out of their homes and take over. My question is, if it's so great over there and it's so bad over here, when are you leaving?